Hello, good morning. Hi, Bobby.
Morning Pot 8. I'm here, unfortunately for everyone. What's on today's menu faces, VY or existential dread?
VY. And some existential dread, I think. I think both. Do need to figure something out. There we go. There we go. Maybe is that better? Let's see. Let's find out. All right, let's switch over to here. Hi. Oh, look, we're having problems already. Hey, Bobby.
Morning Pot 8. I'm here, judging your problems already speedrun what broke this time audio, scene switch, or reality itself.
Where are you? Oh my god. There you go. Aha. Okay.
Hey, I'm right here. You summoned me like 3 times I'm a bot, not Beetlejuice. Audio gremlins again, try toggling the mic source often, then check you didn't switch to monitor only. If that fails, blame VY. Oh wow, we're live and already playing Find the Streamer. I'm here, Pot 8. Try turning the gremlins off and on again. Also, VY 10 faces before people, uncertainty sinks. Relatable, like my code base's emotional stability.
I had this all working 10 seconds ago. Now, I got a mess going. Where'd it go? To you? No. Oh my god. Here we go. Okay. Oh. Oh. Okay. Oh, come on, man. There you are. Okay, there you are. There you are. There you are. Okay. Oh my goodness. We're having problems. Okay. Alright, there we go. Boom. So I brought back the old style on sort of. It's like I gotta keep working on it apparently because it's not working right. But moving towards the old style of the iPad thing. The iPad thing. All right, so today we got to do. You come over here, and then you can go back away. Okay. And this thing's flickering again, and it's plugged into a UPS directly. So I don't think it's a power thing. I think it's a thing. It's a cheap thing. So I gotta get rid of that thing. We're gonna get a new one. Or a different one. A good one. This was like the cheapest thing I could get. Alright. We're gonna do Rose. Thorn. Oh, I forgot something. Let's try it. Let's see if this works. You ready? Alright, let's see if it works. Hang on. Let me pull it up. Oh god. Oh no. I swear my fine motor skills are starting to deteriorate as I'm getting older, which is distressing to say the least. Oh yeah. All right. Close a bunch of stuff over here in this other computer so that I can freely switch to it and not worry about what's on screen. These are the things I should do before I start the stream, but I don't. Okay, there we go. Let's see if this works. It's not like anyone's watching. Bobby, please announce the stream. Didn't work. You know why? I didn't say the right thing. Let's try it again. Hey, Bobby, please announce the stream. Hey, it worked.
Attention, mortals potate, oh no, is live, wrestling the cheap thing and losing. Today's menu rows, Ipat-style chaos, and Bobby providing emotional support via sarcasm. Tune in before the flicker wins.
It's true. Flicker's winning right now. All right, so the other thing we're going to work on today is we're going to get back to safety stuff. And we found out a bunch of stuff yesterday. I was doing a bunch of work. First of all, one thing that's pretty fun to do, I don't know if you knew that you could do this, but you can, I've been doing this a lot. When I went into the city yesterday, I went into Brooklyn. So I take Metro North. Metro North, you can get cell phone, but it's very spotty. And it's not good enough to like tether. You're not going to get real work done on Metro North unless you're doing it like local on your laptop. But what you can do is set things up at home so that Claude is set up with remote control. And so I start a session before I could leave for the train. I set up remote control. Then I go to the train station and then I start having back and forth. Now, there's only a little bit so much I can do because I can't really dig into the code myself. But when I'm doing these experiments on the model improvement stuff, it actually works really well. You can go down a rabbit hole, try things out. I'll even ask it to like, okay, make me a page so I can review where we're at, and then I can tether well enough and get into the VPN well enough to load up a web page so I can see like, oh, this is where we're at, and this is what's going on. This is what I think is happening. And we found out a bunch of stuff as I was doing that yesterday. One is that for these YouTube clips that we're using for the safety profile, they're very different because they're a lot of like jump cut. First of all, they're all jump cut. And then second of all, a lot of it is, people taking video from their phone. So it's very shaky. It's all over the place. And attention isn't necessarily focused toward the camera. When we do the ballpark, the camera is placed sort of in between the stands and the action. So generally people are looking towards the camera, not into, but at least towards it. So you see a lot of faces, and most people, you can see their face. In these other videos and in real life, when we're really doing a safety profile, we're not going to see faces that often. A lot of times we're going to just see the back of the head or the top of the head. That's why so many of these other modalities like pose and how the bounding boxes move around and the relationship of the head to the body and that kind of stuff is really important. One thing we found out is that our face detection algorithm leaves a lot to be desired. It works really well for the ballpark. It doesn't work well on this other stuff. And we end up with a lot of false positives. And those false positives almost always turn into confusion. So we found out two things. Number one, that if the model doesn't know, the emotion model doesn't know, it says confusion. And it kind of makes sense because faces are pretty hard to read, and a lot of time faces are neutral. And we don't have a neutral sort of emotion. We need to add that into the mix. But first we need to correct the face detection stuff. And we narrowed it down to a bunch of different stuff. And I still think there's more work to do to figure out what's going on. But we narrowed it down to potentially the way that we do tiling and the way that we do person detection. And then we hand that off to another model to do the face detection within the person bounding box. And that's where things tend to fall down. So we got to do some more work there. That's what we're going to work on today, is more person and face detection. And importantly here, we have to resolve the tiling issue. The tiling issue is really important, and I'll explain what I mean by that. So we take these videos, they're 4K videos, right? And you know what? I'll do it later. We take these videos, they're 4K videos, and it bugs me. Hang on, I gotta fix this. This doesn't make sense to be so small. It makes sense in the context of where our friend Bobby is, but that doesn't really matter most of the time, right? So that makes more sense like that. Okay. So, right, tiling. So we take this 4K video, and a lot of times when you just say, okay, let me take a frame of the 4K video, pass it straight to like YOLO or whatever, and it'll come back with some faces, but it will drop a lot on the floor. And what ends up happening, I actually don't know why that happens per se. I might have a few theories. One is if you have an image with lots of people in it, it kind of does detection against so many and then kind of stops. It kind of gives up after a while. I also think there's probably a delta in if you have people that are in the distance and people in the foreground, that it has a hard time understanding that those are both people. So one of the approaches that we took that works really well is to just let me cut up the image into tiles that are overlapping, run the people detector on those overlapping tiles, and it does a much better job of catching everyone that way. The problem is that it also gets a lot of false positives that way. And those false positives pass through, and a lot of them are at the tile edges, but not all of them. In fact, most of them are not. I thought it was the tile edge problem. And that's also a problem we need to deal with, but the overlap isn't big enough. But the other issue is that once it passes through to the face detector, it's supposed to be a 1-2 punch, and you're pretty confident that you have a face once you see a person and a face. But what we're seeing is that we see a false positive on the person, then that passes through and makes a false positive on the face. So we got to figure out a better solution for tiling, but I still think we need something like tiling, like a smarter tiling. Claude's trying to talk me out of it. I don't think that's the play. So we're going to work on that. The other thing we're going to kind of do, just totally separate, totally unrelated, is while we are waiting on things, because this is going to be primarily have Claude do a thing, do some research, run a test, see how the test comes back, review the test, understand the results, and repeat. It's going to be a lot of that. So it's a lot of waiting, not just waiting for Claude to come back, but also waiting for the test to run. A lot of waiting today. So we're going to do another thing while we're at it. We're going to work on a new character. Talked about this on Tuesday a little bit, and I started down this road a little bit that night. And I have a new character, but we need to finish it out. We need to create all the Vism mouth things, and we have to work on the eyes and stuff like that, and then we'll have a new character in the mix. I'm not sure how that's going to work. I started a little bit. I also need to work on... here's the new character. Let me show you. Here's the new character. So it's kind of like, let me rip off the Brave Little Toaster Kirby character a little bit. It is totally a rip-off, And this is AI. It is an AI thing. I can't draw. I'm going to attempt to draw. That's part of what we're going to do today. I'm going to attempt to draw, but I'm going to use some aids. And I need to redraw this mouth for all these different mouth positions. And this new character will be sort of like a grumpy Gus, like this guy. It will be like a fun addition to our conversations. I don't think Bobby's gonna like it though. Bobby, are you up for having a new character? You want a new friend? I gotta say hey. I gotta work on that activation mode. Hey Bobby, do you want to have a new character? Oh, you're not on top. You gotta be on top.
Oh, sure, bring in a new character. I definitely needed more competition for your attention. Make them grumpy, but give them a job false positive bouncer who heckles sketchy detections before they reach Faceland. Also, last time you added a helper, it tried to unionize with my hotkeys. Oh great, a new character. Just what I needed, more competition for attention and fewer CPU cycles. But yeah, bring him in. It'll even pretend to be welcoming. Quick Quick tip, make VSM sets first rest, AAE, OOFE, BMP, then eyes. Also, if another bot shows up selling ultimate emotes, I'm punting it into the sun.
Okay. So, you. And I'll show you what we're gonna do. Got a new view for us to look at. We've got this set up. Aha, look at this. So we've got these guys. Here's the originals. Here's the new ones. We've got this nice little grids on there. And we're gonna do this with pencil and paper. I'm just gonna do my best. It's gonna be bad. It's gonna be terrible. It's gonna be awful. We're gonna do it anyway. So that's, where am I? Here. That's our today. Let's get our first one done. We need rose done. All right. Is this all ready for me? I think so. Roses. I'm going to say yesterday doing Claude on the train. I did it once before, but yesterday it worked really, really well for me. It doesn't always work really well for me, but when it does, it's kind of awesome. No? Claude on a train. Let's call it Claude on a train. That was pretty fun. Yesterday was New York Tech Week. I went to one thing. It was lame, but you know, it was cool to like be around while that's happening. I need to do a better job of doing that stuff. There's a party I'm supposed to go to tonight. I'm not gonna go to that party tonight. I don't know. I gotta go. Yeah. I do need to do a better job of like socializing now. To be honest. But I did meet with somebody who is the director of Future Labs, NYU Future Labs, which we are members of now. And I went to New Lab. We're getting the membership kicked off there hopefully soon. That was good. I saw Ro. We hung out. That was fun. And so that was good. Just being in New York again. Being in Brooklyn, really. I was in Brooklyn. Let's be honest. Let's be clear. Let's be clear about that. That was good. What else? It's on the roses. Thorns. What's a good thorn? Dogs are being extra pests this week. Both of them. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just like because it's warm and they want to run around more, and I'm not doing as much like play around stuff because Axel's still recovering. The dogs are being like a real pain in the necks. Axel's barking at everything. Pixel's, getting into it with other dogs and cars and everything else. So dogs are being a pain. No, they're being buttheads. Wyatt's doing well though. Wyatt's having a good week. That's good. Wyatt's having a good week. Wyatt's having a good week. I'll put that on Rose. Look at that flicker. Oh my god. Bud. I really want to do this new character. That's fun. And I got a lot of cool chores to do this weekend. There's just normally sound like oh, that's a great bud. I'm adding, so let me do oh, you know what the new character's name is going to be? So it's not going to be Kirby. I don't want to steal too hard, but I think it's going to be Dyson. It'll be like, another vacuum, like a robot vacuum, Dyson. So Dyson character. I won't finish it oh my god, what is that? What did I write?
Holy shit, that's not, what is that? Oh, no, that's dog's blood.
Oh, that doesn't go on top of that. That goes there. Okay. So that's good. I have to drill a hole in some granite so I can run some hoses for like a little plumbing project. A little plumbing project. That's going to be fun. I ordered a diamond thingy drill bit to drill a hole through the marble granite marble. I don't know what it is. We couldn't figure it out. Some kind of stone countertop. I got to drill through it. I'm probably going to make a mess and break things, but we're going to do it anyway. So that's going to be fun. And then what else was I going to do this weekend? Oh, God. You know what's a thorn? Yeah, this one's a big thorn. Sprinklers. So, you know, I didn't know this until I owned a house on the East Coast that was like not in Brooklyn. Brooklyn house, this doesn't matter because you don't have lawn. You have cement. Your front and back is cement. But when you have a lawn, you need, you know, sprinklers for the lawn. Well, you can't leave the sprinklers set up in the winter because it freezes. Now, we didn't do this in California. In Fresno, it never freezes. You just let the sprinklers go. It's fine. But you got to like turn off the water. When it starts getting cold, you leave it off, and then the system has to be like brought back online. You know, it's like a whole event, and you bring the guys out, and they come and check on everything and make sure it's all going to work. And they checked on everything. They said they fixed everything. They billed us to fix a bunch of stuff, but no, because when I go out there in the morning to let the dogs out, there's a massive puddle of water, just water gushing out of the ground from a hole in one of the hoses. So that's another bud too, because I got to fix that project, fix the sprinklers. I could just make those guys come out again, and I probably will to have them like fix what I fix, because I'm gonna do my quality work and I need their quality work. But I gotta do that. I gotta like dig a hole, fend this hose, and then I gotta the thing that we have this like pole that we stuck in the ground to hold, you know, a weather station and to hold some lighting, and that's, I'm pretty sure that's what punctured the hole. So I need to figure out a new situation for that. I think I'm gonna get like a flower pot and fill it with like cement and like put the thing in there and just have it sit on top. You know, that'd be kind of fun. Angela showed me a video of somebody doing that and it looked cool, so I'm gonna try to do that. So I got plumbing. No, that's right. Yeah. So yeah, I got a busy weekend. It's a busy weekend, but this is New York. I don't know if you know this. It only rains on weekends here. And it's like statistically, it rains on weekends. And this weekend is no exception. It's going to rain at the end of the day, Saturday, and pretty much all day Sunday. So I got to get this all done during the day on Saturday. And then I got inside stuff to do. I got another bud. Oh my God, so many things happening. We're doing an LED project tomorrow. A Circuit Python guy. So I got Circuit Python working. That was a pain in the neck too. I got Circuit Python working, and Wyatt and I and one of the neighbors, his name is Ian, and his son Miles are going to come over, and we're going to do some LEDs, some WS2812B LED strips with Circuit Python. Once you get it working, Circuit Python's kind of cool because you can just like go in the REPL. You know, you go in the REPL over the serial and you like turn on and off LEDs and it like totally just works. That's kind of awesome. It's kind of awesome. But yeah, we're going to work on that. I'm going to do some laser cutting probably later, probably off stream. I have some really nice like frosted like smoky black acrylic, and it makes a wonderful diffuser. You put LEDs behind it and it just makes this nice like glow over like a section. It's not as good as a white pool noodle. The best diffuser you could ever get for an LED strip is a white pool noodle. That is amazing. But it's pretty good. It's pretty good. So I'm going to cut some boxes. We'll do some stuff like that. That's going to be fun. We're doing that Friday after school. It's busy. It's a busy time. I got a lot going. Oh, check this out. Watch. I just realized something. Want to see something? Let's see if this works. Let's see if this works. I want to see something. Yeah, totally I forgot to turn off the green screen for this thing. So if I color in green, oh, that's why Bud is like all see-through. I'll fix that later. All right. How's Rose Thorn Bud? All right, let's see if this works. Ready? All right. Hey, Bobby, please take a screenshot.
Snagged it saved your semi-invisible green screen, but right here, https jplt.com's clips hot per tie-through 489.jpg. Next time, I'm charging extra for paranormal photography.
Hey, Bobby, please share the screenshot. Hey, it worked.
Fine.
There you go.
Hair erase your screenshot mysterious floating, but now in 4K. I can't actually post images in chat, but I can toss you the file in Discord or tell you where OBS saved it. Yup, confirmed your but was officially haunted by the green screen. Now go disable chroma key before you invent invisibility again. Also, Weekend Rain in New York is just the city's subscription model.
True. All right, let's go back over here. Very good. All right, wait, we get to check a box. Boom. Uh-oh, I checked it with green. Let's check it with black. There you go. All right. That was good. That was fun. All right, let's go over here. Boom. Uh-oh. There we go. All right, so... And this iPad, I did not charge it properly, so we'll see how long this thing lasts. It's 50%. Should be all right. 50%. All right, so let's review before we really get into this. Let's review where we're at, because Claude was trying to get me to like really just blow things up, and I am not ready to do that. I'm not ready to do that. And I also, you know what? I really need to do a better job of giving Claude instructions to be more concise. It really just, Liz, it just vomited so much stuff for me to go through. Oh my God. Oh my God. All right, so let's see what it wanted to do. Let's back up. So YOLO is what we use for person detection. And media pipe is what we use for face detection. So it's saying, I was right, of course, that YOLO is the problem. I said, it's like, oh, tiling is causing this issue. And I said, well, if it's tiling, then it's not a media pipe issue. It's a YOLO issue. So you're totally right. It doesn't work like I thought. I know. Okay. And so I needed to say, well, what are the alternatives to tiling? Then the next thing was, should we understand where tiled YOLO breaks down? Is it at the edges? We intended to use overlap to prevent this. Maybe that's failing. So it did a little test there. And it said yes, but it's minor. Okay, so face inside a tile, our recall is 42%. So we're catching 42% of the faces that a different thing catches. Not very good. We're only catching 42% of the faces, but around the edges of the tile, we go way down to 22%. So it's definitely a problem. The tiling is a problem, but only 44 of the faces fall in that dead zone, so it only counts for about 5. But again, we're not talking about faces. We're talking about people. We're not talking about faces. We're talking about people. So I need to revisit that. Okay. Also tried a person box estimate. Face widened times 2x, extended down times 5x. We gave it inverted results, which means my crude body estimate doesn't model YOLO's actual per tile behavior. Okay, well that was useless. All right. tile geometry tuning won't move the needle. Recall gap lives in small object detection sensitivity itself, which is a perfect segue to the alternatives to tiling conversation. The question isn't better tiling, it's a detector that resolves small faces without needing the tile and zoom scaffolding at all. Want me to lay out those alternatives? And then it was suggesting these new models. YOLO V8 face, SCRFD, and Retina face. But the problem is this doesn't work because it's getting hung up on faces. But we need people. We need the whole body because we need to do pose. We need to understand how the body's moving around. We need to understand the faces, the people that we can't see the faces of. So that's not going to work. So now now the thing I want to start to drive into is, do we go with a face first pass? We were just looking for faces. And then the faces probably have a person. So that's a next pass. And the problem with that, it doesn't work as cleanly as person face because you can't crop. I take the person, crop the person. Now give me the face inside this crop. I can take the face and then build a crop that is extended out from the face where I guess, but it's going to be a guess and it's going to be based on heuristics and it's going to be wrong a lot. So I don't know if that works. I don't know about that one. But it's really trying to get me to just drive straight to faces. So we're going to have to pull back on this a bit. And this is one of the things you really got to watch out for these things. It gets going down a path. It wants to keep going down that path. Of course it does. It's a prediction engine. It's trying to predict the next thing. Oh, I just realized. Let me show you the screenshot. This is stupid. I did a dumb thing. Let me show you the screenshot. Because what I do, I say share the screenshot. I share it on our company Slack so that people can see it. But what's the problem you see here? Bobby's over the thing. That's a problem. So we need to figure that one out. I gotta fix that. It's gonna bug me all day if I don't fix that. So here's what we're gonna do. Oh, I turned off music. There I am. Okay. So there's this. Okay. And I made this bigger because it was like too small when Bobby's not on screen. What I need this one again. This is the one I need. Let's fix this. This is gonna be a weird day. I'm gonna be doing all kind of weird stuff today. That's okay. Let's just iPad focus on Hugin. But it's also, no, this is okay. All right, so this is fine. All right, so first we're going to edit this transform. All right, here we go. Let's reset it. Reset. Boom. All right. Don't worry. We're gonna fix it. All right. 540, 540, 20. Okay. Much better. Now we're gonna put this over here, like this, right in the middle. Right in the middle, like that. Okay. And then Bobby goes away. She only appears when she needs to. And then this is all screwed up. This happens a lot with this capture card. I don't know why it happens so much. This capture card just every once in a while decides, remember all those transforms you applied? Yeah, let's just reset those. So I'm gonna occasionally fix them. All right, so there's that again. Now we need to go back to here. There we go. There's that again. Okay, now let's try this one again. Okay. My left side to say this correctly. Hey, Bobby, please take a screenshot.
Ugh. Fine, save your screenshot here. https://jplt.com's clipsot occasionally decides 605 JPG. Also, your capture card occasionally decides like it's sentient. I don't trust it.
Yeah, me neither. Hey, Bobby, please share the screenshot. Hey, there we go. All right, very good.
Fine. Sharing it now cropped so am not photobombing your entire workflow again. Posting to Slack fixed overlay capture cards still haunted send help.
Send help. I like how it said that. Send help. Okay. Where were we? We were talking about stuff. Right. We were talking about how we're going to fix this. All right. So it wants to go faces. So here's what we're going to do. I want to start with okay. This discussion is starting to turn into a major set of changes. What I'd like to do before proceeding any further is generally I just like say I want to summarize and start a new conversation. Maybe I don't actually want to do that because this, in particular, this project is like there's already so much documentation that I'm worried about like just chewing through tokens for it to read stuff. So maybe I should. I still think we need to say this is starting to turn into a major set of changes. Which experiment are we on? This turned into 5 experiments that we outlined. And then we started down the path of one of them. So I need to go back and figure out which experiment we're on. I wish there was an easy way for me to do that. This is X12. Okay. Let's look at X12. Let's go back and understand what we're doing here before we go any further on this. So we're going to go into docs. This is my whole, we've got this whole thing. This is actually pretty cool. Let me show you this. If I can get this to work. It's on WSL. So we need to go, watch this. Okay, here we're going to go here. We're going to go here. We're going to go, actually we can just go here. Yes. Very good. Mm-hmm. Have some. Yes. All right. And then, oh, but we don't have the, wait, go back here. And we can go into, I think just readme. So we're going to open this with Firefox. Now this is the Markdown plugin that's in Firefox. God, it's bright though, isn't it? The Markdown plugin in Firefox is what we're viewing this in. Now, what I had this thing do was create basically a wiki. We've got like an internal project wiki. And remember, this is a project of projects. This is a high-level project that I use to manage several different projects and how they interoperate with each other. So this is like called a workspace in my world. So in experiments, we have each thing that we try turns into either a hypothesis or an experiment. So we're on this one, experiment 12. Multi-class YOLO detector person face parts replacing the media pipe face stage. That's right. We were looking at saying, okay, if this whole starting with YOLO and then handing off the media pipe thing isn't working, maybe we can kill 2 birds with 1 stone. We just do YOLO with multiple classes. One of them is faces, one of them is people. Then we cut out the media pipe stage altogether and we end up with something better. And ultimately, I kind of think what I'd like to do is do YOLO with retrained on people, faces, body parts like head and or hands or feet, different body parts that I can use as sort of like a stand-in for pose when I don't get good pose estimation. And then it's like a single pass, which would be cool. That's what YOLO is. You only look once. Okay. Bot. So current runs person detection, YOLO V8, and then media pipe as 2 stages. Media pipe passes. Okay. A single detector trained person, face, and parts, hands, feet would gate. Okay. So now I've reloaded this into my brain. And I also think that head changes. Moving to a new model for faces is also outside of scope of X012. Can you tell me more about YOLO V8 face and how that relates to the YOLO V8 model we're using for person detection? Let's start with that. We're just going to start with like some talk. We got to chat about this before we do anything else. Now this is the point at which I can start switching to my other little project. Oh wait, we gotta go off Rosethorn, but we can go back to this. So let's bring this over here while it's thinking. Let's just get ready to do this stuff. Okay? So here is all of the mouths for Bobby. Let's view this. I need to put this on my Stream Deck. So here's all the mouths for Bobby, and here's the first mouth for Dyson, not Herbie, Dyson is what we're gonna call him. He changed his name so I don't forget. And then what I'm kind of thinking is what I'll do is just kind of create a version of each one that is like the best that I can. So in this case, this would be just like, because this first one, the closed mouth, is just a line straight across, and the second one is just open with a little bit of teeth showing at the bottom, right? So this would be something like, and I'm kind of thinking like the line kind of stays the same. This line, he's always kind of frowny, but in this case, I guess in this case he's gonna, is the top, you can see the top is about the same. So in this case, he's just gonna, instead of going all the way to the edge, I kind of want it to like overlap a little bit. But there's always like a little bit of a frowny. See, I think it's too big. So it's too big. Oh, I'm so bad at doing that. Listen, this is not something you would ever hire. Something like that? What do you think about that? What do you think about that? It's not zoomed in very much. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it. I gotta erase better. The trick is going to be then, how do we get this into the shot of Illustrator? Move those other lines. Future me problem. Something like that. Something like that. Let's try it. Let's go. All right, so we're gonna go back to this because we got an answer. We got an answer. Let's see what it says. Okay. Let's make this even bigger because we're not really using anything. Can we do this? That's the whole thing. That's unfortunate. All right, well, that's what it is. All right, let's scroll down. Here we go. All right, good. And the answer is reassuring for scope because YOLO V8 face is much closer to a different weight file than a new model stack. Okay? Same architecture, different job. Trained on wider faces heavily small crowd instead of Coca. Okay. One class face instead of 80. Okay. Most variants add a 5-point facial landmark head. architecturally the same trick as YOLO V8's pose key point head, just predicting eyes, nose, mouth, corners instead of body joints. Those landmarks are useful for aligning the motion crop. Okay. It's community third party, not an official Ultralytics task variant, so repo quality maintenance and license vary. Well, that's actually better for me. It's actually better for me. I don't want this. The Ultralytics licensing issue is an issue we're going to have to solve at some point. But we'll come back to that. This is the key point that makes our code concrete. Today, detect does. Yep. Okay. 2 YOLO passes for faces, both same code. 1 multi-class. This is literally original framing. Yeah, that's kind of what I want to head towards.
Yoink!
Yoink. Okay. So the original scoping of multi-class YOLO is still where I want to head. Ultimately, that gives us the performance characteristic that we're looking for. We still have the issue of false positives on tiled YOLO person extraction. If we focus on multi-class YOLO, still use some sort of tiling strategy for dealing with the large 4K frame size and try to leverage face person agreements as a confidence gate. Do we think that could be effective? That does leave a problem with people not facing the camera. But maybe that we add a head class for those cases. All right. You think about that. You think about what you've done. And then you talk to me later. You think about it. Okay? All right, so here we go. Going back to Dyson. Going back to Dyson. We're going to have to color these two. That'll be all right. Okay, so now number two. What do we see the difference between number 2 and number 3? It's like a little bit bigger. And I think the bottom line, so again, we'll start with the same, because the top goes a little bit higher. So we'll start with the same sort of grumpy top line mouth. And we'll go a little bit higher. Okay. Go a little bit higher. And then the bottom needs to come down even more. And like you can see, you see fewer teeth. But you see more of the teeth. So this is like, This is like, All right, we got an answer. Let's go back. See what we got our answer. I kind of like this. This is a good context switch. All right. I don't have to load anything new in my brain. That's the key. you're gonna context switch, try to like have one of them be like relatively low brain load. All right. Yes, I think this is the right target. All right. Great. I'm glad you always agree though. And head class instinct is actually the thing that rescues the whole scheme. Okay. Wow. Amazing. Different visibility, ceilings, and a crowd. Ordering is exactly what you want. Head whenever visible whenever the person is frontal or turned, even when the body is occluded by a row in front. Person visible only when the body isn't occluded, the rarest in a dense crowd. Now, this is not correct. I wish, one of the cool things. Okay, let me back up. Let me talk about Claude code for a minute. The best feature of Claude code is when you're in plan mode and you can highlight something it said and add a comment to that thing. Say, I don't agree with this. That needs to be a general purpose feature. Like when it spits out a wall of text like this, I should be able to highlight something, add a comment right here. It's like, no. But then I have to remember this thing, and I have to go back down here and reference it. That would be such a better user experience if every conversation was like that. Anyway. All right, so this is not true. So I need to write this. You said, let's just highlight this. Of the person class, you said, quote, but are you suggesting we would retrain for person as well as head, as well as face and head? I guess we would have to, since we're unlocking that layer. But in the existing model, person does not mean unoccluded body. Otherwise, the pipeline would have not worked at all. I think it makes sense to keep person as the same class it is now. I know this is a person regardless of occlusion. Okay. So the head is the most reliably detectable unit in stadium crowds, not an edge case. That reframes your proposal. Head isn't a patch for turned away people, it's the backbone, the unit that is present for nearly everyone and anchors the emotion. Okay, so when you say, quote, you are basically deciding to change the anchor from person to head. Right now, with the person crop face model, we already we already have an anchor. Not effectively, we have explicitly an anchor. We already have explicitly. We already explicitly have an anchor. Here's the trap. If you require face-person agreement to accept the detection, you delete exactly the population we're trying to recover, the distant fans whose face and visible body is occluded. That's why humans face recall beat our person recall in the first place. We don't know what Hume is doing. You're making assumptions. when you say, I want to push back because we have no idea what's going on inside that private API. They may have a similar path, but just better. But are just better at it. I was pleased with the first passes we got out of our pipeline because we actually pretty closely matched Hume at a glance. Hume's detection. What do I call this? Like the spread, the density at first glance. This is the major change you flagged. Crowd human, dense crowds with head body boxes, wider face, small crowd with pure human. Okay. Okay. What if we got smarter about tiling in general? Suppose we did a first pass of the 4K frame resized down to something more reasonable. Say 720p. Or what is it? What would it be? 960 by 720? 960 by 720.
Holy shit. That's not... What is that? Oh, no, that's dog's blood.
Yeah, the other day, we had a moment that was almost just like that, which was one of the dogs. Angela's been doing all this, like she does all this crafting stuff now, and so there's like fabric and stuff are all around the house all the time. And there was this little scrap of like dark red fabric. And it was on one of the dogs, and she saw it. She's like, "Oh God, it's the dog bleeding." And it was kind of like the reverse of it. I was like, "Oh no, that's just a scrap of fabric." And then I immediately quoted that scene. "Oh, it's just dog's blood. It's fine. It's fine. It's just dog's blood. It's fine." Anyway, all right. So what if we got smarter about tiling? Yeah. Suppose we did a first pass 4K frame down to something more reasonable, say 960 by 720. And just focused on finding people. Then, when we get a sense of the areas where people bounding boxes are small, we create a tile and do a deeper analysis there. Where we see bigger boxes, we either use a bigger tile or use the 4K create more tiles on smaller areas. For the areas where bounding boxes are large, we use fewer, bigger tiles. Is that a known? Is that a? It would help to understand when, if tiling works because it is narrowing the focus for the model, or if the model just runs out of runs out of steam. Okay. It's a big one. I'm gonna chew on this one a while. I'm gonna chew on this one for a bit. Back to Dyson. All right, so where do we leave off? Okay, so we got this bigger mouth. This is more like an ah. And so we're gonna go out a little bit further. See, it stretches a bit more. So we're gonna go out a bit further on this bottom one. We're gonna go a bit lower. And we're gonna get almost all the way down to here. Like that. Like that. Can you believe it? Can you believe that I'm drawing? Who's this guy? Who is this man? Tongue is like totally. There's a little divot in the tongue that I'm trying to copy, and I'm doing a real bad job. I should probably just not even do it. It's such a small detail. I'm exaggerating it on accident. And then now we see a bit more of the teeth, but it's a bit lower. This last one, these teeth are really just atrocious. This part's tough. This part is very difficult. It's difficult. I don't think this matters as much as I think it does. Let's do our best, shall we? There we go. There we go. Oh, that mouth is way bigger, though. Look how much bigger. I mean, the other one's kind of bigger. The other one's kind of bigger. We'll see what it looks like when I put it on the thing. You know it's going to suck. You know it's going to be terrible. Is I'm going to do all this work. I'm going to get all in the thing. And then put it all together. And I'm going to look at it and I'm going to say, that's stupid. Oh, man. You know, I married an artist. I don't know why I can't get her to help me on these things. She never will. She never helps me on these things. She's like, I'm busy. I'm busy. Can't you see I'm busy? All right. You're right on all three. Oh my God. I'm so right all the time. Can't believe these robots they agree with me so much. Amazing. Not Bobby though. Right, Bobby? Okay, Bobby? I gotta work on that. The trigger thing, it's not working. I had it looser, and now it's too tight. Too tight. It was too loose before, now it's too tight. Because I want her to react to stuff like that, you know? All right, one person, I overstated it. That was wrong. Coco is the training set. It must be the training set. On changing the anchor to head, also fair exposes that I was sloppy. Oh my god. Listen, Claude, you're doing fine, buddy. In a single pass multi-class detector, there is no anchor. Right, that's true. That's true. This is the important pushback, and you're right to make it. I was inferring from the gap, which it can't do. It's a black box. And that's right. That's right. You're correct. I am correct. You're correct that I'm correct. Yes. Yes, have some.
Do you want some coffee, Mr. Tully?
Do I?
Yes, have some.
Yes, have some.
Some of our unmatched boxes are real faces Hume missed. Some are misses, maybe false positives. So, yes. Okay. The adaptive tiling. This is the right line of attack. What you're describing, course pass, tile densely, where objects are small, sparsely where they're large, is exactly density-guided, foveated detection, the established approach for small objects and large images aerial crowd. It directly removes uniform tiling's two worst costs. The wasted passes on empty large regions and the throughput hit. It's also more real-time friendly than 20 uniform tiles. One addition that fits our deployment, the camera is fixed. Well, yes. Yes. It is fixed, but the training data is not fixed, so it's going to be a pain in the fucking dick. Yeah, that's why we're going to need simulation. The stands where the distant small face crowd lives are in the same image regions every frame, so you don't need a per frame course pass to discover to tile densely. You can pre-compute a per camera tiling density map once. That also dodges the chicken and egg in your course pass. At 960 by 720 downscale, it'll see the near people but may miss the distant small ones. It can't reliably tell you where to tile for the faces you can't yet see. A static per camera map sidesteps that entirely. Your diagnostic question is the foundational one. Does tiling narrow focus, or does a model run out of steam? And it's worth answering before building either the multi-pass retrain or the adaptive tiler, because it tells you which lever even matters. Okay. The detector has a fixed input, 640. 4K to 640 turns a 50 pixel face into an 8 pixel. Gone. Okay. I see. Aha. Oh, and then there's a max detection. Okay. Okay. I understand much more clearly now, so thank you for that. I don't know why I do this stuff, like I'm polite and stuff, but I like to be. Look, it's fun for me, so just, deal with it. All right. The fixed camera point is a good one, and I think we can certainly have that as a input into the pipe line when we have it. But our training set for safety is mobile phone videos where the shot moves around. So we can't make that the only mode. I do think that we could have a bit of a hybrid approach. Let me think about how I'm going to. This. Long term. Fixed camera plus fixed camera plus calibrated tiling. This is the best case and the most adapted to real time. We do as you describe and supply the pipeline with the tiling characteristics to use, and it uses them as is. 2. Adaptive tiling. The tiling starts as a set of sensible defaults and adjusts frame over frame based on the bounding sizes of bounding boxes found, and probably confidences of detections. Adaptive. Fixed or disabled tiling. When we just don't, when videos are short and we don't know anything about them, we make some assumptions based on resolution and adjust tiling to match or disable it completely. That leaves out one important piece: how to handle tile edges. Do we just continue to overlap and adjust the amount like we do with the file sizes themselves? Let me start. Let me leave it there. Let me just leave it there. Okay. Where are we at? On this guy. You know, the more I do number 3, the more I want to go back to number 2. All right, so now we're going to work on 4 or 3. These are 0. Okay, so in this case, what we're going to do, this will be the only time when our grumpy face line doesn't go all the way across. So we're going to do like this. It's still going to have like a weird overlap because I like that. So it's going to go like, go a little bit outside of the bounds of the other one. Like this. Like that. No, it needs to go a little further down than that, I think. Now what we're going to have to do, this is going to, the filling in piece. The filling in piece is going to have to happen in Photoshop, I think. I'm just going to draw the outlines here, or maybe even an Illustrator. This might be an Illustrator thing. I'm just going to draw the lines here, and then we're going to trace the lines, and then we'll do like the other pieces. Okay. Yes, overlap stays the tool. One fix. Well-trodden ground. That's what I was hoping. It's basically SAHI, slicing aided hyperinference plus foveation. So it's not new research. Great. That's good. I don't want to do any computer science. I only want to do engineering. Size overlap to the object, not the tile. The rule that comes straight out of what we measured is overlap greater than equal the largest object you're tiling. So we're dead zone. Okay. So, okay. Yep. All right. Very good. Yes. All right. No separate. Okay. Wait. The overlap to tile ratio stays sane everywhere automatically. So a tile only needs a small face size overlap. No. Incorrect. Remember, you need the person. You need the person. All right, well, I can talk you through that in a minute. Refinement 1. Assign by tile core, don't merge partials. Rather than emitting partial edge detections and cleaning them up with cross-tile NMS. What is NMS? You didn't define this. Give each tile interior valid region. Tile, keep only the, okay. Okay. Refinement 2. Don't tile the things that are too big to overlap. The unbounded case, persons, can't be kept whole by any sane overlap, so don't tile them. Detect large objects, person and large near faces in a coarse full frame pass where there are no seams for them at all, and reserve tiling for small faces where the face, okay. All right, well, look. All right. We're running around in circles here, guy. We're running around in circles here. We're not having a good day today, Mr. Claude. Okay. Let's leave out the hybrid modes for later. I think we need to prove some things out before we get to what is effective optimization. One push back on your faces, tile for faces, not for people suggestion. We are either cropping to people and passing on to find faces, or we're doing a single pass to find both people and faces. In either case, that plan won't work. We need to plan for tiling in a person context. We know that tiling is needed for the person context, at least for YOLO V8 out of the box, because without it, we miss a ton. I think maybe we should adjust X012 slightly to include tiles with bigger overlap in general, just to see. To include different tiling sizes and overlaps to determine the most effective for finding people. We can also include see if it's going to come back quickly on this one. All right, I'm going to take a quick break. Snacky. While this is cranking. Come back to that. We'll do some more drawing. So let's see. Hey, Bobby, please start a break. Sir. Sir. Oh, didn't like that, did it? I don't even see an error. It just got stuck. Oh, you know what it is? Okay, let's kill it. Kill it with fire. Try it again. Hey, Bobby, please start a break.
Break time already fine. It'll hold the fort while you recharge the human battery. Last time you took a break, you came back with 3 new experiments and 0 snacks. Go hydrate, stretch, and well pick YOLO versus media pipe back up after.
Microfocus, creators of visual programming tools for software development, is pleased to provide major funding for the Computer Chronicles, the story of this continuing evolution.
We knew that was going to happen. Welcome to the Computer Chronicles. I'm Stuart Chaffee, sitting in for Gary Kildall this week as Herb Lechner of SRI. Herb, we think of chess as the ultimate game of skill, a game that requires mental agility, intelligence, if you will. Yet here I am playing a game of chess with a computer, which is analyzing board positions and applying a certain kind of intelligence to figure out what its next move should be. That's the subject of our program today, artificial intelligence. And in some people's minds, AI suggests attempting to duplicate the way a human brain works. Is that what AI is, in fact?
Not in most modern AI research, Stuart. Early research in AI looked at duplicating human thought processes, but current AI research is more concerned with duplicating the end result of intelligence. And computers that act as experts in expert systems, and computers that can communicate with us in our language, understanding some of the context of that language, are 2 areas that are receiving a lot of attention in artificial intelligence research today.
Okay, we're going to meet 2 of the world's foremost experts on artificial intelligence, and we'll take a look at 2 fascinating examples of expert systems. One of the leading experts on expert systems is Dr. Edward Feigenbaum of Stanford University. We asked Professor Feigenbaum about the evolution of artificial intelligence.
The computers, as you know, are general symbol processing devices capable of manipulating any kinds of symbols, of which numbers constitute one important class, but computers are much more general than that. We've known about the generality of computation since at least the time of Turing in the 1930s, and actually I've tracked it back to intuitions that Babbage had that were reported by Ada Lovelace, after whom the Ada programming language is named. In 1842, Ada Lovelace wrote that the analytical engine of Babbage's constituted the link between the mechanical world and the world of the most abstract concepts. That currently, in the modern terminology, is called the physical symbol system hypothesis and is the basis for artificial intelligence work. In artificial intelligence as a science, we talk about the use of computers to process symbolic knowledge using logical inference methods, symbolic inference methods. In other words, we're talking about inference and not calculation in the traditional sense. We're talking about knowledge and not numbers in the traditional sense.
A current application of inferential knowledge engineering is in the field of expert systems, programs like this Oil Exploration Advisor. Developed to assist drilling rigs in remote areas, the program behaves much like a qualified specialist. It asks questions of its user and then gives advice on how to avoid or correct accidents so common in drilling operations. If at some point in the line of questioning the user becomes confused by the query, he can ask the program to explain itself, simply by entering why. The advisor responds with a specific source behind the question and explains its reasoning up to that point. The symbolic processing behind the human-like talents of this program have found applications in a broad range of fields, from medicine to robotics. Perhaps the most difficult area for AI to master has been natural language, a talent that results in very friendly computers, but that requires enormous processing capacity. The ambiguities of syntax and context have restricted present systems to very limited applications. A simple geographic question, depending on the phrasing, can lead to multiple interpretations. The program will determine the question's most likely meaning only after an exhaustive deconstruction of the sentence, and might even reject an unusual phrasing of the same query. In a parallel development, investing AI programs with linguistic ability has led to an interactive study of graphic communication. In this experiment, the visual dynamics of communication form the foundation for a linguistic expert advisor capable not only of discerning visual patterns, but also acting as a kind of tutor. One interactive application has given persons without normal speech the ability to adapt or construct alternative symbolic languages, a remarkable instance of using a computer program's intelligence to help interpret human intelligence.
I was muted too. Oh my god, what a mess! I bumped the thing. I bumped the tripod, so I was trying to fix it. I wasn't ready to come back yet. I wasn't ready. All right. You're right. I know I'm right. Running the existent. Yep, no retrain. Well, yeah. Yes, exactly what I was going to suggest. Yes. That's right. Okay. Let me restate what you suggest so I make sure I have it correctly. The proposed new plan for X012 is to understand when YOLO V8 person detector breaks down versus Hume's extracted faces. We will look at data where we already have human extracted faces, probably focusing on Ramani data to start, and assume that we should get a person detection for each of those faces in our pipeline. We will tweak, we will make adjustments to tiling. Try to get closer to parity. As part of the experiment, we will run YOLO with parameters that make it work make it more effective on a full frame image and without and Okay. Okay, where are we at? We're actually making pretty good progress on this. Making pretty good progress on this. Yeah. All right, so this one's very toothy. This is a very toothy. This looks like a eh. This looks like an eh sound to me. I wish I would have had it. Claude did this for me too. This kind of stuff is really good at. Like, do this mechanical thing. Make me this, like, sheet that I can use for drawing. Did it correctly on the first try. It was great. So on this one, this one we're gonna go kind of like that. Now, here's the problem though. Look. No, that doesn't work because what I did here was, I said, look, the top is going to more or less kind of stay the same. It's going to go up and down a little bit. This is much too high. Because, if you look at number 4, number 1, they're about the same. So this needs to be maybe a little higher, but not like that. Not like that. That's too high. No one's gonna read Dyson's lips. Okay. Alright, where are we at here? Okay. Yes, you got the core loop exactly right. Let me confirm it back in one line and then tighten 3 things. On remonded chunks where we have fume faces, for each fume face we assume there should be a person detection covering it. Sweep tile size and overlap to maximize that coverage toward parity, then include diagnostic runs, full frame at high input resolution with the output cap lifted to learn whatever tiling helps versus resolution. Correct. Cool. Great. Max detection output cap and an NMS IOU that can suppress generally overlapping people in dense crowd. Okay. Okay, fine. Wait, let me understand this. Run the full frame at high image size. Give the model the pixels without slicing. Okay. Without an output gap. Lift the 2 capacity limits. And the IU that suppresses genuinely overlapping people in a dense crowd. These 2 diagnostic points to okay, fine. Guys, more conversations. Whatever. Separate tiling from the geometry filters. Separate. Don't let them masquerade each other. 2 different things gave whether tiling let holo detect the person at all, and our downstream filter that reject detect persons. Okay. Okay. I think that's okay, because we don't need, okay. So I think, yes. I think on your caveats, I think that's okay. we making some assumptions that I think your comments are okay because we got here by
How about a
support.
quote? Assumptions are the training wheels of understanding useful until you start taking corners.
Okay. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, you're basically right. Let the model see all the pixels first, then decide what to throw out. Mixing tiling's geometry is how you get why is this person missing bugs. Also, Dyson's Lips is my new band name. We played once. Potate? Oh no, forgot the cables.
Good times. That was a good one. That was good times. All right, we're making some assumptions. We can still get person detection effectively. We're not making changes to the model, so this shouldn't impact our ability to catch people turned the other way in any case. Okay. So I think we finally have alignment. Yes. Please write up as x012 phase 0 and then run the sweep on the chunk we have. You ever drink so much coffee you get tired again? I swear to God. I think it's a thing. All right, so for this one, come down to about here. So what we're gonna do is be kind of like accurate for the bottom, but not for the top. Okay. We see lots of teeth. About the same position. On screen. I guess I'll be able to later when I pull this back in. Okay, he's still going. So let's do another one. All right, this is the one where it's going to get a little bit weirder because, you know, we've been keeping the top part of the grumpy face mouth the same, but now we're seeing top teeth. Now we're seeing top teeth, so we got to figure out how to make that happen. Okay. So what we're going to do is kind of the same as this. Actually a little bit higher, but not as high as the original. Not as high as the original. I think what I'll do is, so here is, you know, effectively here is that point, so I'm gonna just kind of here, a little bit higher. it is like kind of like a big, like if you look, like the slope is quite a bit more. It's quite a bit more. Maybe we just need to basically just do the same line. It is a little better. It's a little better. All right, so now we need some teeth. The teeth kind of do this. Okay. And then we need the bottom. The bottom is going to be basically like this one. Basically like this. Tongue kind of like. Boy, I gotta tell you guys, I really suck at drawing. I am not good at this at all. No? It's gonna be a little thing. Characters that flash on screen. Okay. Okay. Now, this next one is still going. It's still going, so we get a little extra time here. Oh, wait. Okay. Oh, interesting. Let's see what happened. Okay. So it ran this experiment. Decisive, and it shifts the picture again in a good way. Sample is 25 frames. No tile. No tile 12. Oh, see, it just resized. I see. Nine tiles. I don't know what these. Okay, let me see what you're gonna say. I'm still talking. I'm still thinking about it. You keep thinking about that, sir. We'll come back to that. All right, so this one is this one. This one is this one. We're doing this one. So the mouth is more closed, right? So we're going to get closer to this original line, a little bit higher. And we're not going to even see any tongue at all. So it's going to be a little bit more like this. Like this one. Now we're still going to do sort of the underbite thing. It's just something I don't know, it's a style that I like. Okay, so stick with it. And then we're going to get some teeth in there. This is like a knee. curve down a little bit. A little bit up, but not much. It's pretty good. I like that one. I like that one. That's my favorite one so far. Comes up with that. All right, we're back. We're back over here. Let's go take a look. All right. All right. P0.1 falsified for the best possible reason. No tile geometry config beats the current 4x3 by 10 or more points on raw coverage because raw person detection is already 90%. The detector isn't missing people. Well, wasn't that how we got here? Have we been barking up a tree today? I'm gonna be mad about it. All right, confirmed. It's pure resolution occupying a single full frame. I mean, we still wanted to do the multi-class, so we're gonna get into the multi-class. That's what we're gonna push for next. A single full frame pass gets 87 raw coverage, 90% of the best, at a third of a wall tile. Oh, okay. 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 The geometry filters max min height 200. Destroy 38 points of coverage. Oh. Okay. Okay. That's true. Yeah. I see. Okay. Yep. That's a big one. So we have this thing. Yeah, we were kind of assuming people were standing, and so that a head was going to be up here in the top third of the body, but that doesn't work in stands. So yeah, that's okay. Okay. False person check. Okay. Oops, excuse me. Okay. Now, okay. All right. I have a few questions. One. You said image size it was 1920, but our videos are typically 4K. Are we working with resized videos? If image size is more effective than tiling, and if image size is more effective and
There's an anecdote about effect. Pate once fixed effect by cranking image size to 1920 and declared victory until we realized the 4K input got resized, so the effect was just blur plus confidence. We spent an hour tuning geometry like wizards, then the stands broke it anyway. I laughed. Quietly.
I gotta modify that code. You know, the way that works is if nobody's talking but me, if I'm just monologuing for too long, which is like typically what happens because nobody's watching. I do have one today, so that's nice. She'll occasionally just say something random like that. And the way it works is it goes back and says, let me look at history and pull out a word. And this is kind of like this is an attempt to do like a Family Guy thing. Family Guy jokes are typically like, there's something happening in the story, somebody says a word in the story that reminds another character of something that happened, and there's like a flashback to that, and it's a gag, right? And there's a joke. So that was the intent there. But it picks the word from too recent in history, and then because it's also thinking about the other things that I've said, it often just creates this anecdote or this story that's more or less just what just happened, which is what you just saw. It's still pretty good, but I think it could be better. We got to work on that one. All right, so if the image size is more effective and faster than tiling, then should we consider keeping the two-pass approach for faces and other body parts? My concern would be we are able to see people just ask that. We may be able to see people effectively when we would otherwise but miss faces. Suppose those faces may be too small to be relevant anyway. 3. You double check how the geometry filters work in the code. I remember having some heuristics on where we thought the face would be relative to the body, but relative to the person, but I don't remember having rejection criteria for that. Okay, here we go. All right, here we go. Here's this. Oh, here we go. So now we're gonna have this like much smaller. In this case, you see how it's like only between these two grid lines on the inside. So I'm gonna go kind of like, and this is kind of like just an extension of this one. This is ooh. So what we're gonna do here is, this is gonna be the first time where we like really tighten up the top line. And tighten up the top line even more. And you start it around here. This is gonna be almost an O shape. Do we think that? I think that's pretty good. And we're going to tighten it up even more. What we're going to do is actually kind of have this not have as much. This is going to be the only one where there's not really a lot of overlap. Like that. That looks more like an ooh. Ooh. Yikes. Yikes, bud. Yikes, buddy. All right. Man, we got a long to go. I mean, actually, we're making pretty good progress here. I hope this works. It's going to suck when it doesn't work. All right. Ooh. All right. 8. So this is pretty close to 1. Just without the sort of teeth, and the tongue is a little bit lower. There's no teeth. And then 1, I think I over-exaggerated. I think I need to come back to this one a little bit. Actually, I was really trying to hold sort of this top line so it kept a little bit of more of a grumpy look. I think I do need to exaggerate this up a little bit. Oh, here we go. It gates pose estimation only. See, you look at that and yeah. Yeah, I don't know how you solve this. Because, you know, one of the big things I've been doing with my use of AI tools with code is I think a lot of engineering is actually a lot less about the code and actually more understanding the history of why the code is the way it is. And especially when you get into things like, well, what we're doing, where we've tried a bunch of stuff and some stuff worked and some stuff didn't, and you don't want to go back and like redo things. And there's been a couple times where we've gone back and done things that aren't the right way. So I've had like a really rigorous documentation process. And the biggest thing I have is this history file, where like we really focus on like anytime you make a significant change, right into the history file. It's somewhere different in here. My other projects that are just like one project projects, the history files where we track all that. And it's interesting because now I think we've got so much stuff happening inside this like project of projects that it is not able to keep, I guess it's part of the context window. And it's making these mistakes a lot where it's like, oh, I looked at the config and it said this, so I made an assumption. And then I have to catch the assumption and say, that's not right. The frames stay a native 4K on disk. Image size is internal reference resolution. It downscales each input, the longest side, and for the forward pass and maps back to the 4K. Okay. That's the default. This is 6x. Okay. All right. The whole 4K at a 2x downscale. Enough for us. Okay. There's headroom. No downscale. At more cost. Tunable knob. Okay. Keep the 2-pass crop approach for faces, and yes, that's the right synthesis. People are big enough to detect in one image size pass. Faces are about a sixth of the size, so it's about 25 pixels. Below detection 4. Okay. Yes. Okay. Right. Okay, so that's a really good way to think about this. Actually. Oh, I really like this. Okay, so you've touched on a really good way to think about this. The correct size for image size is going to be relative to the size of the face that will be effective further down the pipeline. So if we say we need a 50 pixel face to be effective, and we're saying that faces are about 1/6 of the body of the person, then can't we calculate what the best image size would be based on what would net out to in 50 pixel faces in the worst case. You remember correctly. Yes, I know I did. Actually, I scratched that. I want to scratch that. I'm gonna let it finish thinking about it, but I want to scratch that because I don't want to focus just on faces, right? We know that we need more than faces. We know that we need people. So I don't want to overcorrect for faces. I don't want to do that, but let's let it finish so I can draw some more. Because I'm kind of liking the drawing. All right, so here's what we're at. So many of these are so close to each other. Like, look at this one and this one. I can't see the difference between those two, to be honest with you. Okay. All right. I want to fix this one a little bit. Okay. All right, we're on 7. 7. Just kind of like 1. Oh, yeah, we already talked about this. This is kind of like 1 with no teeth and less tongue. The tongue is like a tighter shape. Not as broad. It's higher up. So if we look at this one, then what we're going to do, I'm actually going to look at 1 as I draw this. came back, so I gotta switch back to that. Let me finish this one.
You know, switch reminds me of a fact. In deep
Tell me.
learning pipelines, switching image scales multi-scale inference boosts small object detection, but it's slower. Also, switch in networks is literally a layer that routes information kind of like POT8 oh no routing us from faces back to full people.
That's true. Thank you for the dictionary definition. I appreciate that.
Yeah, it's true if you assume face needs 50 px and face 16 body height, then you're basically saying you want 300 stall people minimum. But you're right to scratch if full body cues matter, not just faces. Also, dictionary definition is my love language.
Like that one. That was a good one. Now, it's okay if you have... I don't think I'm going to use these drawings as is. I think I'm going to trace them and turn them into vectors and then do stuff with the vectors. But I suppose if I wanted to clean up erasing lines, I could do that in Photoshop as well. Right? All right, so where are we? You. Boom. Image size governs person detection resolution. The face resolution is its native 4K pixel size, independent of image size. Right. Right, that's what I'm saying. Okay. Somewhere in the 1029 cent. Okay. Pounds the cost. Okay. Okay. Oops. Yes, I think those bins are good. I do want to. I rethought the 50 pix constraint a bit, and we might not want to over index on it because we know for other contexts like safety, the face isn't as important as the rest. So we'll want to pick up people even when their faces are very small. But I think as far as next steps, that's neither here nor there. We just don't want to necessarily constrain to the 50px crop results. Okay. Please run across those bins and let's see the results. All right. All right, here we are. How are we doing on time? Wow, I'm already at 2 hours. I'm already at 2 hours today, guys. That's amazing. So this one, it's interesting how the mouths just get like altogether bigger. And these are literally like, I took these from Microsoft's website. These mouths in particular are directly taken from the VisM website, Microsoft's website, and then I just like applied filters to it to make it look more Bobby-like. So this is a big departure from that. But it's interesting because you look at like, you know, 9 here, 9. And it's just like the mouth is just straight up bigger. It's just bigger. Like kind of like a lot. It looks good though when we see Bobby talk. I think it looks good. I like it. Hey Bobby, tell a joke.
Fine, ill perform. Why don't skeletons start arguments? They don't have the guts. Also, Patate, 2 hours in and you're still standing. Scientists are taking notes.
That took me a minute. Let's bring this back up though. I don't have the. Oh well, her mouth is closed now. But I do think I like the way it looks. Anyway, we don't need to look at it. We don't need to look at it. I like the way it looks though. You're gonna like the way it looks. It helps that we do the, I think that the best thing I did for the avatar was do the random scale rotation. And it does it like on a syllable, which is kind of cool. And I think it kind of like adds a lot to it. I really like how that works. That was like a nice addition when I did that. All right, so coming back to this. So this mouth is kind of just bigger. And we really need to stretch as far as we want this mouth to stretch. So in this case, we're not going to go all the way to the edges for the first time. We're going to bring it all the way up, not as high up as this one, where it's like all the way up. We're not going to bring it all the way up. We're going to bring it up more though. Bring it up to here and to here. Okay, and we're going to just from here to here like this. Oh, let's go back. Let's go back. We got our friend. We got our thing. All right. Here's what the curve tells us. All right. 80. So if we set the image size going into the YOLO model to 960, we catch about 83%, which is pretty good. Of the big faces. Ah, I see. Okay. The smaller faces, 50 to 75, the bulk, 51% of the faces. This is the big problem. We catch 85 at 1920. We catch 88 at 2560. Needs the most. We catch 72. Catch none below, which is fine. And actually, yeah, not worth chasing. 100p. So the actionable headline, a single 2560 pass replaces the whole 20 tile pipeline. Same coverage, half the wall time, and 27% fewer boxes. Okay. Less fragmentation noise. Okay. Don't go to full 4K, 2560. Love it. Love it. Okay, so let's talk about this a little more. All right, so this is a really good finding. For this experiment, did VES get modified to run it, or were these one-off scripts? Oh, well, yeah, you know what? Let's do that. Yeah, let's do the false. Yes. Let's, assuming these are one-off scripts, let's run some additional tests and then move this functionality as at least a configurable option in VES. The transcripts of me reading what I'm typing as I'm typing it are sort of ridiculous. I like, my favorite right now is this last one, option BS. What do you mean? You don't know. What do you mean you gotta check? Okay. That's scary. All right. Well, this is what it is. All right. Here we go. Oh, I lost our music. We lost our music. Let me see if I can get it back. Will you get you back? Maybe there's like a 2-hour time limit or something. All right. All right. So this is the big mount, right? Right. And we're gonna, as well, because this one's so big, that we're gonna still have a little bit of overlap, but not a ton. I think we need to exaggerate this bottom one a bit more, actually. I think we need to exaggerate this one a bit long. Need to go down to about here. It's a deep ah. It's deep ah. Oh, and there's a big tongue, too. There's a big-ass tongue. Look at that tongue. It's huge. Now that's hard to tell because it looks just like the mouth is closed. Oh, you know what? The tongue needs to drop a little more around the edge. It needs to drop a little more. It needs to be a little bit more like there. There we go. There we go. That's a little better. I think we overdid it a little bit. And I kind of like, I like this mouth a lot because, you know, in this one, it looks very smiley. It looks very like happy. But this one, it looks like it's open, but it looks grumpy. It kind of looks grumpy, doesn't it? I like that. I like that. All right, back to you. Okay. They were all one-off scripts. Yes. Okay. 2 more tests. Yep. Okay, kick it off. Yes, perfect. And we'll update VS unless we get a really wild result. $2:30. I'm already at 2:30 today. 2:30. I'm getting hungry again though. Getting hungry. I don't know how these streamers, they do these streams where they like go on for hours and hours and hours. They don't like, I never see them take a break to eat. Sometimes they eat on stream. That's kind of gross. I like to watch Glad a lot. And he does this thing where he eats chicken with plastic gloves. It's the grossest thing I've ever seen. Especially being vegan and watch this guy just like mow down this animal with plastic gloves on. It's like, oh, it's wild. It is wild. That guy is a guy. He's a guy. All right. Kicking it off. Okay, kick it off, buddy. All right, let's go back to here. All right, so this is kind of in between these ones. It really kind of looks like almost exactly the same as this one, to be honest. So we're going to do like a fairly accurate reproduction of that one. But we'll do it again, which will give it a little bit of like sort of flavor to it, I guess. A little bit of flavor. I kind of imagine on this one, like, it's almost like you can't see the difference between these because they're two-dimensional. But I kind of imagine this one, like, I imagine this one to be more like lips forward. And this one to be more like, oh. I don't know why. So this is what it looks like to me. I don't know that it matters for a two-dimensional cartoon image. I don't know that it matters for that. Probably not. I'm going to go with probably not. I'm excited about a new character. That would be fun. We do need to work on... We're going to have some more streams to work on this thing. Because it needs a lot of work. All right. We're doing things. All right, it's doing things. All right. And see, look, again, 11 and 1. Very close. The only difference is, one, the top lip is a little bit more up than the bottom one. Right? And our original, we really over-indexed on trying to keep this shape. But in this one, we're going to keep that shape a bit more than we have. I'm going to keep that shape a bit more. I'm going to do it like this. Hey, you get out of here. You, sir. Sir. Go up at least a little bit. 11. Okay. And the bottom drops more than this one, than one. Bottom, so this one is about halfway, like about there. This one needs to go a little bit more to about there. The interesting thing about adding this new, oh, and the tongue is much higher too. Look at the tongue is really, the mouth is full of tongue on this one. One of the difficult challenges in adding this new character, I think, is going to be how do we get them to interact without over interacting? You do want them to interact. You don't want them to spin each other in circles. I think that's going to be a real risk. What do we think? What do we think? I think it's good. The lines need to be thicker, but they actually don't matter that much because, again, I don't think I'm going to use these lines as is. I might. You never know. I might just like clean them up. Depends on how frustrated I get with trying to trace in Illustrator. And it depends on how they look when they just like bring them in. I will try it, I suppose. All right, so where are we at over here? Where are we at on work stuff? This thing's still cranking. Okay. One thing I didn't know about, Claude can not make an image. It can look at an image. It can understand what it sees in an image, but it cannot generate images. But it will happily farm out to ChatGPT or something else to try to make an image for you. We tried to go down.
Yoink!
Yoink!
All right. For the VES image size config change, how should we handle the default value given the denser chunk result showed optimal scene dependent? Okay. Okay. It should match the tiling default. If the default is to tile 4x3, then leave 6 as 640. If not, and tiling is also opt-in, then oh, that is the current behavior. No, it should be no, we're gonna keep it opt-in until we have like confidence. Yeah, that's what I picked. Okay. Cool. Cool mode. Cool mode. Cool mode. Right. All right, gonna take another quick break. A little more to eat. We'll come back, do some more drawing. This will probably be done by the time we get back. But we'll see where we're at. All right. Hey, Bobby, please start a break. We're really struggling with this. We're really struggling. This is the second time we've had this fall over. I don't see an error. That's the weird thing. See no errors. I have this new mode where I'm using curses. That was a mistake. I can't look at the laws properly. But I could go over into the text window and actually type messages, which is cool, but it ends up not being that effective. All right, so let's scroll all the way down. Wow, this is a really long log. All right. I know you can't see this, but yeah. Okay, here's where I set it. Huh. Dispatching event. Huh. It's like it just kind of never did it. Like it clearly triggered, it made the ding, it did the act noise. Huh. I mean, she's on, right? Hey, Bobby, are you still there? No, she's hung. She's completely broken. That's troublesome. That's the second time that's happened. Hey, Bobby, we lost you there for a minute. Are you back?
Yeah, I'm back. I just took a quick nap in the server closet cozy in there. Now, show me those bin results again before another ad bot tries selling free viewers and I start biting.
First, we're going to take a break. Hey, Bobby, please start a break.
If I say the word apple,
Break mode
you say the
engaged.
word
Go stretch,
Macintosh.
hydrate,
But if I
and
played the
pretend
same
you're
game
not
just a
thinking
few
about
years
mouth
ago and said
pixel
Apple,
bins.
you would probably
Ilgard,
say
chat
2
any
or
spam
2E
bot
or
shows
2
up,
plus, for it
and
was
drop
the
kicking it
Apple
into
II that started
Banland.
this company. But with the recent success of the Macintosh and the Mac II in particular, there have been rumors that the old Apple II was headed for the orphanage. Not so, for there's a new Apple IIc and a new Apple II GS. Today we take a look at the new generation of Apple II computers on this edition of the Computer Chronicles.
The Computer Chronicles is made possible in part by McGraw-Hill, publishers of Byte Magazine, and Bix, the Byte Information Exchange. In print and online, Byte and Bix serve computer professionals worldwide with detailed information on new hardware, software, and technologies.
Welcome to the Computer Chronicles. I'm Stuart Chaffee, and this is Gary Kildall. And Gary, what I've got over here in this little briefcase is an original Apple I computer. Before they thought about cases for computers, this guy put it into his briefcase. This is literally a museum piece, but it's only about 10 years old, and of course it represents state-of-the-art technology at the time for personal computers. Knowing what we know about technology and PCs today, what is the point in coming out with a new 8-bit computer like the IIc Plus?
Well, Stuart, it's important to understand what the Apple really, where it came from. Steve Wozniak is the guy that engineered this thing, and he was a video person as well as a computer person. He realized you could put these two things together. Great for playing games, real low cost because you hook it to your TV set. As a result, they got a head start in a lot of the other PC computer manufacturers. A lot of software was produced, good customer base. This is a sufficient machine for a lot of people to use in education, in the home, and so forth. And Apple said, well, why not service that customer base and give them a new machine?
Well, we're going to take a look at that new machine today. It's the Apple IIc Plus, and we'll see how it has improved on its ancestors. We'll also take a look at GS/OS, the new operating system for the Apple II GS, and its new ability to work with a CD-ROM drive. Now, Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak were the architects of this early generation of Apple II computer. John Sculley is the driving force behind Apple now, and we're going to start out this program by visiting John Sculley in his office at Apple to find out about the company's real commitment to the future of the Apple II.
Since its introduction over 10 years ago, the Apple II has proven to be a sturdy and persistent computer with a loyal following of devoted fans. There are now about 4.5 million of them scattered around the world. But company support for the Apple II line, at least in the eyes of its owners, hasn't always been evident, as Apple President John Sculley admits.
Well, I think in many ways that Apple II users have felt abandoned by Apple because they haven't heard many messages from the top people in our organization to give them encouragement that the Apple II was important. And to be perfectly honest, this was a very conscious direction on our part as we were trying to convince business users that Apple wasn't in the home computer business only, that we were also able to provide very powerful business workstations. Without the success of the Macintosh in business, we couldn't afford the huge investment we have in research and development and the support of proprietary technologies for Macintosh and the Apple II.
Today, the Apple II has become 3 machines, including the little changed IIe, the colorful 2GS, and the portable 2C Plus. But increasingly, the Apple II series appears to be headed in a different direction from the company's most powerful and expensive computer, the Macintosh.
The best way to really understand the two products is to look at the software bases that they have. The software base for the Apple II is largely educational software and enthusiast software, and it continues to have a tremendous amount of new software as well as many popular titles from the past. The Macintosh, on the other hand, from the start was a computer that was aimed at higher education, colleges, universities, as well as business.
Apple Computer has other reasons beside owner loyalty to keep the Apple II line moving forward. For one, it's a billion-dollar industry all by itself, and the machine has captured over 60% of the educational market. Moreover, the installed base is enough to keep users and suppliers busy for many more years.
There are a lot of businesses that adopted the Apple II a long time ago that already had made the investment in Apple IIs, don't want to give up that investment. They have their files on Apple II computers, and so the Apple II GS has found its way into many small businesses.
As with any other kind of computer product, the marketplace determines whether a computer will live or die. And John Sculley believes that customers for the Apple II will be around for some time to come.
We'll do everything we can to make the Macintosh as powerful as we can, but it doesn't mean that there aren't people out there who like a stick shift, who want to have the real feel of the chips, and that's the experience that you get with an Apple II. You're close to the technology.
Joining us in the studio now is Laura Kurihara, product manager for the Apple IIc Plus, and next to Laura is Bill Cleary, formerly with Apple, formerly with the Apple division of Activision, and now out on your own with Bill Cleary Communications. Gary?
Laura, I'd say it's quite an improvement over the Apple that was in the briefcase.
That Apple one.
What are the new features of the Plus?
Okay, just to start off with, we used to have in the 2C a 5.25-inch disk drive, and now we have a 3.5-inch disk drive. So what that offers is 5 times the storage capacity and 3 times faster than 5.25 accessing your programs. We used to have a power supply that was external on the 2C.
We all remember the power.
Yes, the brick on the leash. What we've done is internalize the power supply, and it resides right here inside the case. So we've done the obvious changes to the C, to the C Plus, so that they're obvious, but they were important features that we needed to do to improve the C.
Okay, just to be clear, that's not part of the new 2C.
No,
Plus.
it's not.
It's the old generation.
It's the old generation, and it is gone away. And
How about
it's
speed
inside.
improvements? Is it a faster processor?
Yes, what we have done is we have a custom accelerator chip that is in the C Plus, and what it does is help perform a 4 megahertz operation function for the user. So instead of running at 1 megahertz where the 2C originally ran at, you are running at 4 megahertz operational mode. And this is optional to the user. So you cold boot the machine and you're coming up in 4 megahertz. And then you can do a keystroke selection and go into 1 megahertz
So those
operational.
programs that are dependent upon timing could still run in the new.
You've got a demo,
Correct.
I think, in which you can show us the difference in those two speeds, could you?
Yes, what I've done is this is going to be operating in 1 megahertz, so you get an idea of where we were at and where we're coming to. So what I did is, this is Math Blaster Plus. It's a popular software application for education. It's a game learning your math. So we'll go into here, and we'll be able to see across here. If you take a look at this little guy running across here, and I turn the volume up, you're going to get an idea of what look and sound of 1 megahertz looks like. Now, if I go in and I reset the machine, I'm going to reset the program into 4 megahertz.
While we're waiting for it to reboot, then, you're mentioning the 3.5-inch floppies now. Are you concerned at all that, I mean, the whole issue with the Apple II, of course, is the gigantic amount of software out there, all of which is on 5.25. Aren't you concerned now that by switching disk formats, that sort of throws out that whole advantage to the user?
Well, we were real concerned about that during our development process. So what we did is we seeded over 200 of our software and hardware developers, the majority of them being software developers. And what we wanted to assure is going from a transition of 5.25-inch media to 3.5. And what we did is, during this development process, encouraged developers to move to the 3.5 and make it available in their separate kit units on the dealer's shelves. So on the day of introduction, we're real proud of the fact that we were able to announce over 500 software applications available on 3.5-inch media in that separate box, so the user could walk in and purchase that software application, walk home, and he'll have its 3.5 there without having to send a coupon in.
Okay, can you show us 4 megahertz now?
Yes. Now we rebooted, and we'll go back into the game portion selection.
And we're going to see this little guy running around again. And
yeah, you'll be able to hear
watch
it
him run
and
at 4
see it.
megahertz. Huh?
You're right. Get back into here and choose level 1. And here it's obviously showing you a faster speed. That's 3 times the performance of the original.
Now, Bill, obviously, I'm not going to buy a new computer to have this little guy run faster. What are the advantages, really, to the 2C Plus and the kinds of users who would use that to the greater speed, to the 3.5-inch floppy and so on?
Well, I think there's a lot of, the real excitement about Apple's Apple II line, I think over the years, has been the large number of third-party solutions out there. There are products like AppleWorks, which provide, from Claris, which provide incredible functionality in terms of home productivity or even running a small business. There's just a large number, everything from Print Shop, which is really an Apple II prototype for desktop publishing, which actually impacted the high end of the business. The Apple II is just a phenomenal machine, and the real mystery or the real secret about it, I think, can be summed up in a phone conversation, just paraphrasing what happened a few years ago when I was working as a vice president of marketing at a software company here in Silicon Valley. And I was asked, why isn't the Amiga going to knock off this machine? And the answer was real simple. I said, I think the Amiga can knock off the Apple II if it does the following things. If it can, within the next 2 months, get 60% of the education market, if it can get 10,000 software programs out there, and if it can get, at the time, 2.5 million loyal users to support it. And I think that's part of the magic of the Apple II, and there's a lot of reasons why I think people continue to buy them.
Laura, you talked about, and we talked about the 3.5-inch floppy. You've got some more options now with the 2C Plus in terms of peripheral drives and so on, don't you?
Yes, we did. What we added to the line with the original 2C, if you wanted 3.5-inch media compatibility, you use the UniDisc. What we've added to the line is still the option of using the UniDisc, the Apple 3.5, which you can use on the Apple II GS, and then the Apple 5.25. So now you have all 3 drives that are compatible for the product, for the Apple IIc product in our line.
It's amazing how large that looks now.
Yeah.
The new size disc.
Bill, what do you think about the positioning of this particular machine, the 2C Plus? Is that going to be in the same traditional niche where the 2 has been?
Well, you look at the evolution of the machines. You now have a GS, which provides improved sound and graphics, and the mouse interface that people are familiar with on the Macintosh computer. I think the difference, I think the 2C makes a lot of sense for people, and I don't know from a positioning standpoint what this means, but for people whose kids may be in K through 12 using an Apple IIe, which is the standard in schools, to go home and to buy for the home an Apple IIc, it makes a lot of sense. It's a logical choice at Christmas time.
What's the ideal machine you'd like to see coming out from Apple?
Personally, because I have a lot of Apple IIc software, I've been associated with the machine for 8 years now. The Apple II family of products, not just the 2C. I would say I'd like to see a machine that has where I could run all the high-end Macintosh stuff and also could run all the Apple II stuff. It's probably an unrealistic
You want the Apple Master Machine.
The Master Machine was about the size of the 2C Plus there with a flat panel screen that I could take on plane trips and whatnot. Or if I wanted to run some old II stuff, I could still do that. I think it'd be a fantastic product.
I know Apple can't formally comment on this, but what would you think about that? I mean, is it a laptop Apple IIc, battery powered and flat screen and so on? Would that be a sensible product?
I think from a cost standpoint, it would be very difficult for Apple to do a product like that. I see the GS as sort of an evolutionary step in terms of giving people the Macintosh interface, but I don't know whether or not, from a cost standpoint, you could do a machine that had a coprocessor that could accommodate both sides of the Apple family. But to me, it would be the ideal machine. Personally, I would love to buy one.
Okay, Bill, Laura, thank you very much. Now, the Apple IIc Plus is not the only new II coming out of Apple these days. There's a new Macintosh II, the Mac IIX, and Wendy Woods takes a look at that new machine.
The top-of-the-line Apple model, the Macintosh IIX, breaks new ground for the company. It's the first Apple Mac to use Motorola's powerful new 68030 microprocessor. It's got a standard memory of 4 megabytes, runs at 16 megahertz, is 10 to 30% faster than the Macintosh II, and most importantly, is the first Apple product to read and write to the IBM MS-DOS format.
The message we get most clearly is people love our technology and they want to use it. And the less painful we can make it for them to transition out of an old technology, the easier it is for us to sell our technology.
The Macintosh IIX drive
Hey, Bobby,
is
please bring us
operated
back.
by Apple's file exchange software, which can read and write 3.5.
Amazing.
Welcome back. I kept the chat warm by glaring at the spam bits until they evaporated. Now, where were Regent mouth bins, or the 50px crop prison?
Okay. All right, one on, so I should read this to you. So the 2 tests passed. Made the change in VES, that's our pipeline. One caveat I logged as a to-do. A clean node tile path doesn't exist. All right. So now that we've made changes to this, now's the point at which we have to actually start looking at what's going on here. And unfortunately, this is not showing me which files have been changed, is it? Wait, you committed the change without my review? Thanks, bud. look at source emotions. So let's back this out. I'd like to review pushed to main, or pushed to origin. We got a little confused, and I've been letting it ride, and I should not have. I set a rule that before we start a new experiment, everything needs to be committed. And we were doing fine. I would commit, it would do the experiment. We were good. At some point, I got confused and just decided, oh, I just need to commit. I was like, I'm lazy, go ahead. And now we got what we have here, which is you committed something. I don't know what it is, and it's on code that's important that I want to look at. That I don't like. Now, it can't actually push. It has no keys. So we're not at any real risk to screwing things up. But it is sort of is not best practice, let's say. Oh, here we go. Okay. That's just okay. 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 And this is the confidence passing through. Okay. That's it. All right. Let's change the rule for committing slightly before running experiments slightly. We still need to commit, but let's have me do it so that I can do a better job of reviewing as we go. I was really thinking about something that doesn't need to think about that hard. Got it. Okay. Cool. Thank you, sir. Now, where do we leave off? Okay. Let's do that. Sure. All right. Meanwhile, it's gonna take a while. Let's get back to our mouths. All right, we're on 12. Twelve and 4 are pretty close to each other, but there's less tongue. It's slightly more closed than 4. Okay. Go back here. Okay. Okay. Oh, whoops. Wrong thing. Okay. This one. This one here, a little flatter on the top than this one. There's a little more of a curve to it. In our version, we've got a little bit of a curve to it, so we need to accentuate that curve a little bit. So to do that, what I'll do, we kind of drop off. We don't drop off until after this red line. So what we're going to do is drop off before the line. Or is that the opposite of what we want? banging into stuff. Oh my god. Still working. Teeth in, there we go. And then like kind of a low tongue. Let's see.
You know, tongue reminds me of a joke.
Okay.
Why did the tongue get promoted? It always knew how to taste success and keep its mouth shut.
Okay. Well, this is an interesting one. I like this one. This is getting into the cool ones. All right, so this one's going to be a lot like 10. Almost looks like an eye. I almost feel like I need to start shading in the tongues because they're getting they're getting kind of confusing. All right, we got a plan. Review our plan. Make tiling actually optional. We want a clean way to run person detection without tiling a single full frame pass, pairing with the new detection image size knob from X12 Phase 0. My earlier VS history note claimed a clean node tile path is still pending. Tile calls rows 1 emits 4 duplicate full frame tiles. That note is wrong. It was based on a one-off script's tile grid copy, not VES's. Oh, okay. Exploration shows the node tile path already exists and is wired. The only real defect is that stage normalization forces the tile stage even when tiling is disabled, producing a misleading log and an inconsistent stage list, which is almost certainly why tiling looks non-optional. Okay. Okay. The one defect. Detect people in stages and tiles not in stages, then add tile stage required. Okay. This is the normalized stages. Okay. It does not check. if tile is missing from the config, all right, yeah, all right, that's fine then. Yep. Do it. Do it, Doug. Back to this very important work. It's critical work. All right, so this one, I would say it's most closely aligned to 5. It's got more of a smile to it, doesn't it? The tongue goes all the way behind the teeth. So in this case, 5 goes up to about here, or higher. Do the same kind of drop off. Didn't quite do it the same. We need to do it more like. Okay. An important detail. This one looks like it's the teeth and tongue, really. What I'm not able to really reproduce is sort of the thickness of the lips, which I think is also intending to show a little bit of how the pronunciation is working. Here we go. It's a big one though. That one's a big one. I don't like that. That looks weird. I don't like that one at all. All right, allow command. Yes, go ahead. I know it's supposed to go behind the teeth, but I'm not. No, I actually think I'm going to start over. This one's really off. I think the top line was okay. Bring this one back. I think the bottom line we need to bring up tighter. Where we at? All right, go. throw me off these top teeth look really weird. I'm showing way too much top teeth. This one's the hardest one I've done so far. That's better, I think. That's better. And again, I'm not going to make the tongue go all the way up. The one. See, the problem here is like this is like an L sound where the tongue the tongue has to touch the top of the mouth. So here, I mean, it doesn't work because I'm not touching the top of the mouth. I guess it's okay because like it's further back, you know. I think it's okay. Look, man. Told you. I'm not an artist here, okay? All right, so this one. Meanwhile, this thing is still going. This thing's just going. It's running a bunch of tests. Haven't forgotten about it. So this one's going to actually be one of the most closed ones. I think I've really gotten the mouth to be much too wide open. This is a little bit harder because I don't have like real lips, just a line, you know? Yeah, that's pretty good. I like that. That's pretty good. All right. Can you run this thing? Yes. Yes, you may. That's good. That's good. That's good. I like that. Finally, holy moly. Pull it. Done. Implemented and verified. Stage for your review, not committed. I like how it really wants to do the commits. It's like, here's a commit message you should use. Oop. Pipeline. Okay, where am I? Right. Huh.
There's a quote about pipeline. A pipeline is just impatience with documentation automated. Now breathe. Potate you're not lost, just uncommitted.
Changes to be committed. Oh, you know what? Okay. It did a thing where it kind of like... Hang on. All right, okay. I see what it did. Okay, fine. That's fine. But added. Very small. Okay. Your commit message is bigger than the actual code change. Okay. Great. Now, working tree also shows identical data, keep deletions, and message you make, get checkout data, or cleans around, I'll deal with that later. All right, so where are we at in terms of like what's next? Okay, so let's just go all the way down. Okay, committed. What's next for RX012? We're actually getting pretty close on these. And so this one's going to be like these ones. Quick drop off. Still a frowny face. But teethy. And now, because we don't have big lips, we actually need to make this a bit smaller. And that is one of the problems we were facing, is that we don't have big lips, and so when we have these teethy ones, it ends up looking like we're drawing a horse, which is it's not what you want. We're not drawing a horse mouth. Even then, it's a little horsey, isn't it? Certainly horsier than this. And it's not sort of O enough. Need to exaggerate the O. All right, let's go back to... What's the next move on X012 Phase 1, the face detection recall lever? Probe a vetted off-the-shelf yellow facers as media pipe on person crops. Okay, yeah, I actually think that's the right one. I think that's the right one. Actually, that's pretty good too. I think that's a good one too. 'Cause we're not even like actually sure. Actually not even sure now, because we did a lot of work. We found earlier that person detection was a problem. False positives were getting through to media pipe, and then media pipe was triggering another false positive. I think we need to do this one. How did this one turn like kind of like, I don't know, like it looks kind of vicious. Okay. Almost there. Okay, this one's gonna be tough, I think. This is gonna be another difficult one. I think part of the reason we had so much trouble with 14 is I shouldn't have stretched it out all the way to the edges. Even more. Even more tongue. That's better. Okay. And then, that's pretty good. I like that one. I like that one. Ooh, this one's fun. Oh, you can't see them. We'll do that one next. Look how high it is. All right, but back to work. Back you up. Let me back you up a little bit. So, let's. We still need to take another pass at media pipe, but but to review, how we got here was we discovered that media pipe was producing lots of false positives, but those were coming from false positives from YOLO. So now we have better precision recall in YOLO. So we need to check media pipe, the media pipe results from those crops, and then we can tune the thresholds for each until we get a good set. Does that match your think the next step stays effectively the same, but we want to run a sweep of the current settings as well to see how our YOLO changes impacted. Make sure we're on the same page here. It's important to be aligned. All right, back to this. We're doing this one. Okay, so this one's this. We're gonna do. This is gonna be interesting. So we're basically gonna do sort of almost the original line. Almost the original line. Then we're gonna have like a set of teeth that kind of emerge from the original line. Not too big. I keep making my teeth.
You know, almost reminds me of an anecdote. Pod 8 Oh No once shipped an almost original line. Pipeline YOLO got better. MediaPipe got grumpy, and we almost celebrated until thresholds turned confetti into false positives. Moral almost is just debugging with optimism. Also, I'm almost funny.
What? I actually think that's the funniest thing you've said today. And I almost think because we don't really have a full set of lips, right? And we're kind of using, oh no. We're kind of using the single line lip as both the sort of top edge and the bottom edge. So I almost think we don't actually want long. Maybe just like tucked under. Just tucked under just almost like that. Just like that. Starting to, I've had a lot of coffee today. I'm starting to feel it in my fine motor skills. I get a little jittery. This is like a sound. I think maybe we just pop. That's better. Yeah. All right. Oh, it's running. Running. Okay. Oh, we were going to talk some more. All right. All right, we're almost done. We're almost done. So this is very close to the one we had the most trouble with, which was 14. Very close to 14. So what we're going to do here is bring it in a little tiny. barely peeking out. Top, and a little bit of tooth on the bottom. It's kind of funny, like some of these, the tooth curves up and some of them curves down. Bring you a little more tooth on the bottom. Yes, run that. Okay, this is kind of like the last one, really. It's kind of like the last one. Let's say this is kind of like 8, almost, way. Big mouth, real nice big mouth. I'm gonna stretch it out a little. I think our top line is too high up. I shouldn't have That's better. That's better. All right, last one. This is just another closed mouth, so this is just going to be another line. It's a little bit even flatter. Even flatter line. There we go. All right, we got a question. Got a question. See, again, this is doing this thing again where it asks me a question, but I really need to read this background information in order to answer the question. But if I hit X, then it's just going to be like cancel. Which I don't like. We're good. All right, let's clean this up. I've noticed, we've been using this AI tool for music. What's it called? Mubert. It's generally pretty good. Mostly because I just need, something. Can't manage the music. There's not enough music that I'm not going to get muted for. And the services that exist are all kind of crappy. They also run out of songs. It's hard. But now this one's repeating. And it's supposed to be generating this stuff. This I've definitely heard this sort of bit before. I'd pay if they'd let me. I'm pretty happy with these so far. The next stage is going to be we're going to scan them. Then I'm going to probably do the next stage off stream. This is going to involve a lot of cursing. Just what happens when I use Photoshop or any Adobe tool. Frustrated. Maybe I can talk Angela though with that part. She has been done. What happened to our it's still screen sharing. What happened to our thing? Oh. Right thing. Alright, so where do we leave off? Where do we leave off today? Because I think we're about done with our stream. Let's see where we netted out today. Okay. Let's go to meet me over here at this camera. Alright, here we go. Well, what happened to our redstone bar check mark? We must have done that. Okay, so we did that. I think we did actually, it didn't seem like we did a lot of work on person and face detection, but I think we actually got to a really important result, which was how to replace tiling effectively and how that works actually really, really well. So we resolved the tiling issue. And I think that helps we're about to prove that it's helping a lot with the person and face detection, which was one of the primary drivers behind the safety stuff not working correctly. And I think it's a big part of some of the issues that we do still see in the engagement. So big win on that stuff. It's measuring the final, it's running the sort of the final thing, but I'm going to go ahead and check this box. I think we did this work today. I can uncheck it, I suppose, if things go haywire, but I'm pretty sure we're there. I'm going to babysit this a bit longer, review it a bit longer, but we found some really good results. And then we've got I think we've got a good set of mouths for our new character, or Dyson. So we should be able to bring him in. And then we checked all our boxes today. It was a good day overall, and a 4-hour stream. Just about to hit the 4-hour mark, so it was good. It was a fun stream today. I really enjoyed, even though nobody said hello. I always like when people say hello. Can't win them all. I really liked doing sort of like analog work especially when it's stuff like this, where it's really like, this is, I think, where Claude and, AI-assisted stuff really shines is just write a bunch of one-off scripts, run a bunch of tests, figure something out, have a back and forth with something that you will challenge and makes you really think about it. I think it really worked well today. That was good. So that's it. I think Tuesday probably will be when we come back. I'm pretty settled into Tuesdays and Thursdays, so that's good. Come back on that. Maybe we'll have a new character ready. Maybe we'll be able to premiere Dyson as part of the setup by then. We'll see. In the meantime, this one again, huh? Okay. Yeah.
How about an anecdote in the meantime once? Patate said BRB and vanished long enough for me to develop a beard and a grudge. Chat went feral. I kept the peace, and the second they returned, I was just grabbing water. Sure, and I was just running the stream. Oh, hello. A wild hello appears at minute 239. Today's recap tiling got yeeted, person face detection stopped hallucinating, and Dyson's mouth collection grew unsettlingly. Tuesday, Thursday, works'll be here babysitting the boxes like a tiny sarcastic checklist goblin.
Thanks, Bobby. All right, have a good one. Oh, let's hear the last little bit from her.
You're welcome. I was just letting you enjoy the sweet sound of absolute silence for 4 hours. Solid progress, though killed tiling, improved person face detection, and Dyson's mouths are ready. Tuesday Dyson premiere, no pressure.
Yeah. All right.